Whenever you're dealing with critical information, it's very important that you find a way to back up your information or back up your entire system. For example, when you're using Raspberry Pi or any of the operating systems, it's a very essential thing to make sure that you back up your operating system image so that you have a point to fall back to or to restore your system to once you land into an error state or your system is corrupt and you feel like you need to go back to a particular state in time when you needed to work on the system. So one of the videos we're going to look at today reflect on Win32 DiskImager. This is one of the disk image tools that we use on Windows. It has also options that you can look into when you're dealing with Mac operating systems and Linux, but this is basically for Windows. That's why it's Win32 DiskImager. So just go to the website for Win32, and this is SourceForge. It is where we will download our setup for Win32 Imager. But to do backup, we also have other alternatives to this, which include Etcher that I explained in one of my videos before. We have Clonezilla, Macrium Reflect, Acronis True Image. This is one other good software, just like the rest of the softwares that you could use to actually clone and back up your information. So let's go ahead to SourceForge. You'll click on download to download your setup, and here we go. The download will start shortly. It should be able to show up in about a second. Okay, here we go. Setup is downloading. It's quite a simple file, should just take a few seconds to download to your Windows PC, and once it is complete, then you run the setup by double clicking. It will ask you to give it privileges to download or make changes to your operating system. You have to choose yes or okay depending on what displays on your host machine, and once that is done, then the installer will pop up and the entire installation process begins. So the first step is by accepting the license. So we shall simply click accept the agreement, click on next, select additional tasks. Do you want to create a desktop shortcut? Yes, click next, just follow the prompts, and then you have the option to click on install, and then the entire installation process of Win32 DiskImager will begin off. Good, so this is quite a simple step and it's a very fast setup. If you want to view README file, which you don't need at the moment, but I'll quickly launch the software program, and this is it. It's quite a simple software, and there are two things that I'm going to look at in this case. The first thing is how to, for example, clone your information from your memory card in case you're using a Raspberry Pi that uses an SD card, so you can actually back up the information on your SD card. So backup is a very important thing, and then how to restore that setup or your operating system onto your micro SD card. So we'll go straight to that. First, it will ask you what's the name of your image file. So in case we're backing up, this point over here shows you the device, which should be your micro SD card. So I'll just insert my micro SD card with my operating system, and then immediately Win32 DiskImager will detect it, and it's drive D. There it goes. Let me just close that. And so because I want to back up, I'm going to choose a location where I'm going to back up the image that I'm going to burn from my memory SD card. So just click on select folder. So on my desktop, I've created just a quick new folder. I will then give it a name. This is OS backup, and I'll say open, and then it will go there. So I'm saving my image as OS backup on new folder under desktop, and once this is ready, I'm going to click on read. Okay, an error card when attempting to lock the volume access is denied. Okay, I'll just close that again. So read. Okay, so sometimes you may run into an error in case you haven't inserted in your SD card properly, but once you have pulled it out and inserted it back in, you should be able to read off the files from your micro SD card or your memory card. So here we go. This is the entire backup process. So I'll back up the OS on my micro SD card, then restore it back at a later point when I need it, in case my current OS or my image of my operating system is corrupted or damaged or has an error. So this is what you would eventually do to back up your system and then restore it. So this will take a couple of minutes. This successfully burned everything onto your machine into the folder, new folder on my desktop. So I will just quickly go to new folder, and this your backup image over here. Great. So this brings us to the end of our video. Don't forget to hit subscribe at the bottom. My name is Arikom. Thank you. Bye.